The work that you put in every single day, the mindset that you cultivate every single day, the spirit that you cultivate every single day, the work ethic, the dedication, and commitment, that's you, right? That's your essence, that's your ethos, that's who you are, right? Like I'm ink. Like I believe it with every ounce of the word when I tell a cat, my arm and my hand paralyzed, my heart isn't. It isn't. Like my arm and my hand is paralyzed, my mentality, it isn't. My dedication, my commitment level isn't.
Right? The work that you put in every day, that's you, right? So, I mean, I think no one can cheat the work, right? No one can actually cheat the work. The reality is you know exactly what time you get up. You know exactly if you're reading the books. You know exactly if you're in the gym getting the exercise. You know exactly if you're eating the right food that's going to give you the energy and the fuel you need, right? Like, you got to realize that the work you put in every day is exactly who and what you are, right? So if you're waking up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you don't have to really guess what your life is going to be like in the next 5 to 10 years, because your ethos is a guy that sleeps in, while the other early birds are waking up, getting to work, reading the books, getting the exercise, getting the fuel that's going to push them to the next level. You're still in bed sleeping. So a lot of people, I'm often frustrated. Not too much frustrates me except this. A lot of people are complaining about their situations. They're complaining about their finances. They're complaining about their relationships. They're complaining about their jobs. They're complaining about where they live. They're complaining about the car they drive. They complain about, the trips that they're not able to take while they watch other people live their lives. But what they're not realizing, is that your everyday work ethic is you. So essentially, if you watch Netflix more than you read books, your ethos is a person that watches books. Like laziness is better for you. Laziness is more of your ethos. So essentially, think about this, guys. You can't plant apple seeds and expect oranges. Many of you are planting apple seeds and expecting oranges. And when you don't get the oranges, you're frustrated. You want to point the finger to your boss. You want to point the finger to your economy. You want to point the finger to your girlfriend or to your wife or to your children. No, it is you. You know if you're cheating the work or not. I love how Enki said, your ethos is what you do on a regular basis. Every day, you know exactly what you do. You know the type of work that you put in. That's why you can't cheat this work. Because guess what? At the end of the day, when you lay down to sleep, you know if you've given it a full day's work. You know if you've given the day the best that you can. You know that. Your mind, your internal well-being knows that. And there's going to be a part of you that judges you, that criticizes you. You know you didn't give your best today. You know you didn't go all in today. You know you cheated the boss of 2-3 hours today. You know you didn't read the books, right? The reason you're not where you're supposed to be, because there's a book that's sitting on your shelf. You know you should have read 2 or 3 chapters today. You can't cheat this work. And here's the interesting thing. If you try to cheat this work, I promise you this. Even if you got the things, the temporary success, the temporary finances, in a very short time, you will lose it. You want to know why? Because you have not become the person that can handle that type of success. You have not become the person that can handle that kind of wealth. You have not become the kind of person that can handle that type of responsibility. Many of you want to be the boss or the manager, but you don't want responsibility. How are you going to take responsibility or manage a whole group of people, but you don't want to manage 2-3 people? There's a beautiful story in the Bible that I like. It's called the story of the talents, right? And I'll share this very briefly with you. A master comes to 3 of his servants and he's leaving for faraway trips. He gives his first servant 5 talents. And he says to his servant, listen, I'm going away. I'm giving you these 5 talents. See what you can do with them. He called his second servant. He gives them 3 talents. He called the final servant. He gives them 1 talent. The first servant goes to work and he goes through the struggle. He's he manifests his talents to 10. The second one does the same. He manages to 6. The last one takes the talent, afraid to use it, hides it, puts it somewhere. When the master returns, he called all of the servants and he said, hey, tell me what you've done with the talents. The first one says, Master, I went to work. It was tough. I was out of my depth, but here's what I was able to do. I manifested it to 10. The second servant said, you gave me 3. I went to work, and now, Master, I bring before you 6. The last servant comes and says, Master, the one you gave me, I was so afraid to use it. I was so afraid to lose it. But guess what I did? I protected it. I kept it safe for you. Here it is. I'm giving it right back to you. The master looked at him and said, you wicked servant. And he ordered his other servants, take the 1 talent from this servant and gives it to the other one that has 10. Now, you listening to that story might think, how unfair is that? No, it's absolutely fair, right? Because whatever you don't use, you essentially lose. Try for a minute not to use your arm. Take your arm and tie it to your side for the next 6 months. See what happens to your arm. It's called atrophy. Whatever you don't use, by law of nature, you lose. So guess what? If you're sleeping in every day, you've lost. If you're not reading the books, you have lost. If you're not exercising and eating well, you have lost. What you do on a daily basis becomes your ethos. It becomes who and what you are. So you don't necessarily have to guess what the next year in your life is going to be like. You don't have to guess what the next 2 years. You don't have to be on your knees begging and praying, because the law is you sow, you reap exactly what you sow. So if you sow laziness, all you're going to reap is nothing but laziness. But if you sow stewardship, if you go to work, if you wake up and just put the work in, there's a power greater than yourself that is going to give you back the harvest. Now, guys, if you're ready to take your life to the next level, many of you are. Some of you just simply need a little bit of guidance. Listen, wake up every day, find out exactly what moves you. Find out exactly what you love that you can't sleep without doing, and give every ounce of your energy and time to that one thing. I promise you, money with a money back guarantee, you can't lose, you can't fail, right? Because that becomes your ethos. Welcome to another episode of the Gold Digger Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Potential. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one.